Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. Today we're going to be setting up my main monthly planner, my Erin Condren Family Organizer for the month of November. We'll start by flipping through my October pages and finishing up my journaling spreads there. And then we'll dive right into my November pages, my calendar all set up, my dashboard pages, all of my listing and journaling spaces for the month ahead all set up. I've got some really nice washies and some colors picked out. So let's dive in, starting with that October flip through. So here's how my October calendar turned out. I just absolutely love this color palette and like the stickers from Simply Gilded and everything all together. I think this turned out so beautiful. And then here we have the recurring schedule, my sort of like all-in-one goals, routines, and themes page here. Fun with some little stickers down there. And then we had this school page, and this is usually like my kids zone over here. And this was kind of like a flex space. I didn't end up using it this month. I honestly used a ton of sticky notes this month, and a lot of them had like sensitive work information or like specific school information that I'm not gonna share. I did pull all of the sticky notes out of here before filming, but this was very much a sticky notes in the planner kind of month. I have no idea why. Usually I just write directly in the planner and then we'll just like cover up anything too sensitive if I'm gonna show it. But for this month, for whatever reason, I was just very into the sticky notes. So that is what went down with these pages. I ended up taking an unexpected last minute work trip this month, and I wasn't really like doing that much PTA stuff or school stuff. I ended up having to like push some things that I had been working on off because of that, which it was totally fine, nothing time sensitive or anything. But yeah, my stuff just kind of got a little bit shifted around. I didn't really end up using these pages that much this month. So then here is my journaling page, which I love this. I'm so obsessed with this, but I do need to explain it because I actually only read one new book in the month of October, at least that I tracked. I probably read like a couple of other things on Kindle Unlimited that are like, I don't remember, not worth mentioning, etc. And actually, honestly, the only new book I read wasn't even that great anyways. It was just like a 3-star hockey romance, like totally fine, entertaining, already have forgotten most of the plot. But other than that, I literally did not read one new book the entire month. I got caught up in a massive reread thing. So what I decided to do is, one, I did put down all of the books that I reread over the course of this month. So first of all, I will mention that I reread one of my favorite books of the whole year, which was Remarkably Bright Creatures. I actually ended up, the person who was sitting next to me on one of my flights was reading this book. We started talking, and then I was like, you know what? I just need to reread that book. So I went ahead and reread it. Again, it absolutely holds up. If you have not read this yet, 5 stars. This is not only is it one of my favorite books of the year, it's also my recommend to everyone. Regardless of what I know about your reading style, if you ask me for a book recommendation and I don't know you well at all, this is the book that I'm going to recommend to you. So yeah, if you haven't read that, definitely check that out. Then the other books that I reread were one of my other most favorite books of this year, and that is A Strange and Stubborn Endurance. This is a fantasy romance. I actually had originally listened to this on audiobook, so I decided to reread it as a regular textbook. This is actually one of the only books that I've purchased this year. I am very much a Kindle Unlimited and library reader. I loved this so much after listening to the audiobook that I went ahead and bought it, and this was actually my second read of the, well, not physical book because I read it on Kindle, but like of the actual book. So I've listened to this once on audiobook and then read it twice. And that reread is ahead of the new one coming out in December, which kind of inspired this whole section down here. But I did actually reread this month. If you like fantasy romance, I highly recommend it. Do check the trigger warnings for that book before you read it. There is an incredibly difficult and graphic scene very early in the book. Read the trigger warnings. You know, I don't want anyone caught off guard, but it is one of my favorite books from the whole year. Then I spent a large portion of this month rereading one of my all-time favorite series. This series by Charlie Adaro. The series is called The Big Bad Wolf, but it's a werewolves romance mystery book. It is my favorite werewolves book. It is my favorite romance series, and it's my favorite, like, we have to solve the murder case romance series as well. I just can't speak highly enough about it. It is, like, the romance is so good. It's the same couple in all of the books. The first one, which is called The Wolf at the Door, that one starts off with a human FBI agent. He works for like a shadow agency within the FBI that monitors crimes that werewolves commit. And there's a lot of mistrust between the werewolf community and the human community, and only the government knows about werewolves. It's not like everybody, common people, know about werewolves. And because of that mistrust, he's partnered with a agent that is a werewolf from the werewolf policing agency, which is called the Trust. And the two of them work together to solve a case and also fall in love along the way. And it's absolutely magical. The case is really good. Like, the mystery and the suspense of it is really good. The banter is really amazing. I love everything about this series. The whole series is amazing. Throughout the rest of their series, their relationship like grows, and you get like a lot of time with them because it's a 5-book series. So it's not like they meet one day and all of a sudden they're married, which is a problem that I have with a lot of romance novels. This one, you really like get to, really, like, they don't even get engaged until book 4. Book 4 also happens to be my favorite one, not because of that. I just love the case in book 4 so much. Anyway, it's just a really, really fun series. There's also a spin-off series from this that revolves around like one of the side characters from this. But yeah, if you like romantic mysteries and you like werewolves and stuff, definitely check that out. It's just one of my favorites. So what I decided to do with the rest of this page is I just decided to go with books that I'm excited about, where I read the first one at some point this year, and now a new one has either just come out or is coming out. So again, as I already mentioned, A Strange and Stubborn Endurance, the next one is out at the beginning of December. I'm super, super, so excited for that. I think I'm gonna do the same thing and listen on audiobook and then read it. It was just really, really enjoyable that way. And I really loved the narration on the audiobook, and I'm pretty particular about audiobook narration, so I think I'm gonna do that the same way. Then I'm also really excited about Foxglove, which is the sequel to Belladonna. I absolutely loved this earlier this year. I didn't realize this was already out. It came out over the summer, so I will definitely have to check that out soon. I actually already just requested it from the library, so hopefully I have that soon. This is also a fantasy romance, which I just think is a genre that I've really loved this year, and it is about a young orphan girl, and death is her love interest. It's really good. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, and I'm really excited for the second one. I actually don't really know what the second one's about, but it's a continuation of the series. So I'm really excited about that. And I guess also, speaking of which, I actually guess all of these are, this one I would categorize as cozy romance. This one I know people think of Fourth Wing as fantasy romance, but I actually think of this more as fantasy that happens to have a romance plot line. I don't know. To me, it wasn't like, although it is a little bit spicy in that book, but I don't know. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. I thought like the plot on its own stood, like with the school and everything, and the romance was not as big of a component as I would expect based on just the way people talk about that book. Although that being said, I did also really like the romance and the spice in that book. And the new one is out now. It's gonna take me some time to get because there is a library waiting list on that one, but the new one is called Iron Flame. And then we also have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This is about a female professor who is an expert on fae and fae legends, and she like studies them. Fae are real in the world where this takes place, and there's like a little bit of academic rivals to lovers with another professor, and it's just like a fantastic, just really enjoyable, like such a magical world. I absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to read the next one, which is called Map of the Otherlands, and that is out in January. And then also finally out now, everyone's favorite cozy fantasy. So if you like cozy fantasy, like I'm pretty sure the tagline for this book is a story of high fantasy and low stakes, which I just absolutely love. Like, this book is a warm hug. It's a hot cup of tea on a cold rainy day. Absolutely, absolutely love this. I definitely think I'm gonna reread the book before I read the next one. Not that I necessarily need to, but I do enjoy the rereading element of it. But so that is Bookshops and Bone Dust, and this actually came out this week as of my filming of this, as did Iron Flame. These books actually came out on the same day. So that is what I decided to do with my reading journal for this month. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was also really, really fun, and I just think it looks really cute. And yeah, a good way to like kind of reignite my reading journey since I had a very, very slow October. And then this last little section up here is just my kiddo milestones, lots of Halloween stuff. And then this is usually where I just like break down my list, anything that's going on. And I had like 20 sticky notes stuck to this page. I pulled them all up. I have a lot of work stuff going on, like a lot of work projects right now for my freelance business. So I have like client sensitive information in there. So sometimes the sticky notes are nice because Maxi Life calendars, which I now am using, the big wall mounted one. And then also I have a couple of notebooks that I use for work to take notes on things, so then I can stick things in my planner when they're urgent and then put them back into their like notes section in the notebook as well. And that's been working really well. So that is kind of what happened with this. I have not done my photo spreads yet for October or for September, so I definitely need to work on that. Just have not had a chance yet. But I wanted to make sure that I finished up everything else while it's still fresh in my memories. The pictures, they preserve themselves. So I just need to get printing on those. And then we have our little guided journaling section here. I had a lot of fun with this month, tried to get a little bit decorative. I just really liked having this little October thing here and the stickers, and I feel like it made me feel inspired to stay a little bit neater over the course of the month, so I kept that going. So I'm gonna keep that going for November, but yeah, so we've got my whole line a day memory keeper over here. Just write one thing that happened or one thing that I was feeling or thinking or whatever it is, one event from the day, every single day. And then we've got our little favorite sections up here, just a mix of different things. Shout out to the Nerds gummy candies, which I guess that could have technically been in November, but whatever. We got them on Halloween or actually like at a trick-or-treating event before Halloween. It is my new favorite kind of candy. I'm just obsessed with these. And apparently a lot of other people are, because I did share that on my Instagram stories and I got so many replies about how good they were. So yeah, if you haven't tried those out and you like kind of like sour candies, I would definitely check that out. We have got some funny things said. Our basement is finished, which is super, super exciting. And then just lots of Halloween fun. I did set up in advance, just leave myself a reminder to write down the kids' costumes because I didn't want to forget. My oldest was Princess Leia. My son was Chewbacca, and then they could not talk their little sister into being something from the Star Wars universe. She insisted that she was going to be Elsa, which she was, but they were still all super, super cute and really fun. And my daughter made a very good Princess Leia. So I did the buns. I used like the sock bun method, if you are familiar. She had like a full Princess Leia set of buns. It was amazing. And that was kind of my October in a wrap. It was a really great month. Not super busy except for like a small patch in the middle, but just really, really fun. Lots of different things going on. A ton of like family fun, which is really nice. And our basement, which is super, super exciting. So that's it for October. I am going to throw it over to the voiceover for September. I'm going to throw it over to the voiceover for November. I hope everyone is feeling super enthused about reading now. I certainly am. I did find making that spread accomplish the goal. Like I feel really excited to read again. So that's been great. And I have been reading a lot more new books this month as well. And I should have Fourth Wing from the library really soon. So very exciting. But anyway, now it's time to dive into November, where just everything is about Thanksgiving. If I'm being honest, it's just I am a Thanksgiving person. Thanksgiving is my holiday. I love it. And we've got a lot of stuff going on for it. So I don't know. I just went with this newish fall washi that I had from Simply Gilded and kind of made that the focus. To me, this felt like, even though it's very fall, I don't know, there was something very Thanksgiving about this as well. So I just went with it and I really like this color palette. Very different than what I did in October. Definitely a more traditional fall color palette. And then I pulled in some other washis as well. That leaf printed one that's not foiled is actually from Journal XO. The rest I believe are from Simply Gilded. So I did actually get this planner set up like right at the beginning of the month. I was a little bit late. Usually I try and have the calendar spread done before the month starts. But it took me a while to get back to the journaling stuff this month, and now it's even longer with editing and of the voiceover of this video. I ended up picking up an extra consulting project this month that was a little bit unexpected, but the timing just worked out, and I just kind of shuffled some things around. But now I'm back fully focused on Thanksgiving, and I have like already told my agency that I don't think I'm going to do any more consulting projects this year. I just want to have I've had an amazing year for my freelance business, like truly out of this world, bigger than I anticipated, certainly my biggest year ever. But I definitely feel like I need a little bit of a break, and I want to, have some time, family time at the end of the year when the kids are off school, and just enjoy the holidays that I love. And then to just have plenty of time to like work on my goals, to take some time to relax, which I feel like I have not really gotten. This fall has just been so incredibly busy. So I'm really excited for that. And hopefully I can keep to that and keep committed to that, and maintain like a little bit more me time and a little bit more planner time, goals time for the end of the year, which I think in the long run even for my business is a good thing to do, because that'll help me feel really set up for next year and hopefully have an even more awesome year next year, because I have some really exciting projects coming up next year that I'm really just super excited about. And my business is just in a very different place than it was at the beginning of the year. And I just feel like taking that time to kind of reflect on things and to make some different goals for next year is going to be really, really powerful and impactful. So I'm very excited for that. I'm also want to do more with, especially on YouTube for December. I had so much fun doing Planmas last year, and I really want to try and make it happen this year for December. Again, I'm a little bit nervous about the editing schedule, but I'm going to do as much as I can, as many videos as I can in the month of December, and call it a day at that. I'm also going to have a ton of giveaways. Regardless of what happens with actual videos coming out, I will have a ton of videos here and on Instagram, so definitely stay tuned for that. I've got so much stuff to give away, and I love doing them, so cannot wait to give back just like a small portion of the love I feel from all of you throughout the year. And I just really appreciate every single one of you who watches these videos, who follows or subscribes, who comments on anything I do. It just really means so much to me. This is my passion. It is my love. I love creating content in the planner community. I love making YouTube videos, Instagram reels, TikToks, whatever you want to call it. It's so much fun, and your love and support throughout the year and throughout the years enables me to do that and has like transformed this from so much more than just a hobby. So absolutely so excited for what's coming in December and also for next year. And so thank you. Just thank you so much. With Thanksgiving ahead, I am definitely reflecting on what I am grateful for, and the planner community is always at the top of that list. As I said, it was a pretty busy month. We're about halfway through it at this point. And yeah, it will continue to be through Thanksgiving. And then hopefully after that, we'll calm down a little bit. And I'm just hoping to have a nice, reflective, and relaxing December. So this is the main dashboard page. All the way to the left, there is a recurring schedule. That's where I put things that would have gone on my calendar before, but now I move them over to the recurring schedule, things that happen the same every week. So I have a couple of work things that I do every week, the kids' activities, anything like that. Even a couple of chores that I always do on the same days, I will put in that list. Then I also have these two lined boxes. One I put on a list of things that I'd like to book during the month. Like I really need a haircut. It's probably not going to happen until December, but I will book it this month. I also need to book my flu shot. Kids have already had theirs. And then last month or the month before, I think I started a key color to separate out some of the kids' activities, because for the first time ever, now my kids have some activities that are like not all of them together, or it's just one kid. Like my son has tennis on Sundays and my daughter has tennis on Wednesdays. So I needed a color code to kind of fix that all up, which is what I put there. I do try to follow roughly the same color code that I used in the calendar, but sometimes I like need an extra kid color and I just change things up just a little bit. It doesn't perfectly tie, but I try and make it as close and as intuitive to my brain as possible. And then that second box is for my work projects, and I have some sticky notes in there that I put in there during my goals video. If you watched my November goals video, which I know was a couple weeks ago at this point, I moved putting specific work projects out of my goals and just wrote them on sticky notes instead while I was thinking about them, and then I put them in here. They're actually going to go on my Moxie Life wall calendar, and I'm going to just write them in here so that it's also in my planner, and that's kind of how that worked. I do think that sticky note color, which is the red work and learning color, because those are work projects from the Moxie Life colorway, and those are the Moxie Life sticky notes, looks really good with this color palette, but I do pill those sticky notes out and put them up on my calendar. After I finish this little lettering and doodling section, I love this. It's just, I've been having a lot of fun with that little section. And like I said before, and if you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you probably know I love Thanksgiving so much. So everything this month is about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I like to say I love Thanksgiving the way other people love Christmas. Not that I don't like Christmas. It's a super fun holiday as well. I don't feel as much ownership over Christmas because I did not celebrate it at all growing up. Now we do with my husband's family, but Thanksgiving is just like very much my holiday. It was the one that I like, if I could only host one holiday ever, which is not the case. I host a lot of holidays, but if I could only host one, I'd be like, Thanksgiving is mine. And we just go all out. If you want to see more, I always post a little bit on my Instagram stories, or more than a little bit, of like the cooking and the food and everything. And it's just, yeah, it's so much fun. We also have like a big leftovers party at my dad's house that weekend. And then I also host a brunch for my girlfriends from high school now with their partners and families and everything. And it's just so much fun. I love all of the food, but I love the spirit of the holiday even more. And stuffing is my absolute favorite food. You can let me know your favorite Thanksgiving food down in the comments, or I know like people don't like Thanksgiving food, but I think that's wrong. I love turkey. I love stuffing, and yeah, just all of it. We usually do 2 turkeys. One I'll do in the oven, like traditional roast turkey, and then one my husband will smoke on the smoker, which is also just so delicious. That turns out like so juicy and tender. And then we also do a brisket as well. Beyond Thanksgiving, my main focuses for the year are finishing up the basement. It's completely renovated. We have a couch. We have most of the furniture there, but we just want to finish up with the furnishing and the decorations. Since doing this, we have done our big annual toy cleanup, which went really well, and we've moved all of the kids' toys most of the kids' toys down to the basement. They're allowed to keep a little bit of stuff in their rooms, but most of the toys now are in the basement as a playroom, and we've got some more stuff that we're going to be picking up, especially around Black Friday for that, and I'm just really excited. And then year-end prep was the other thing. I did not get to this as much as I anticipated halfway through the month, but I'm hoping after Thanksgiving, and again, really focused in on this in December, going to try and take it really easy with work for the whole month, just so that I can kind of focus more on year-end prep and getting everything all organized and set up for a super successful year for next year. This little section down here, I was getting really annoyed while I was writing out habits. I don't fully understand this section, and this is literally the only section in this planner that I would change if I could change it, because it's like a weekly habit tracker in a monthly planner, so it doesn't really make sense. I did just list out some habits I've been working on. I've spoken about this before. I'm just not really doing habit tracking right now. I feel like all of my habits that were in my goals are still growing at least medium well, pretty well. I've made a lot of progress on ones that I wanted to make progress on. I feel really good about the ones that are just like old hat at this point, like my dental routine, and I have not been tracking habits, and that has been going fine for me, so I'm not going to put pressure on myself just to put that in my planner just because. I did not feel like listing them all out, but I did it anyways just for the sense of completion of the spread, which I get annoyed at myself sometimes when I do that, because like it's okay to leave a blank space in your planner, but sometimes it's so hard to accept that blank space. I've definitely gotten a lot better about it though. And then these are my school/kid focus pages. Since I didn't use them that much in the month before, I was trying to kind of think about how I wanted to put them down for the month ahead. I don't really have a lot of responsibilities at preschool anymore. I had to cut back some of my volunteering there, but I still do a lot for the PTA of the elementary school, so I wanted to make sure I had space for that, some important days. And then this is the journaling pages, so I decided to leave that a lot more blank. I just did the setup of the milestones and achievements, and then just left myself a sticky note for what I intended on the other pages, and that way I can just fully set it up at the end of the month or after the month ends when I want to, just in case I want to be more flexible or creative in that space. I love what I did in October, so I wanted to have more optionality on that. Then on these pages, which is what I call the split listing pages, I already knew exactly what I needed, so I just went ahead and set this up. On the left-hand side, I left space to make Black Friday notes, space to make house project notes, because we're starting to brainstorm what things we want to do in the house for next year. My husband and I are doing that. And also a place to drop any notes that I'm thinking about for goals for the end of the year. And then the whole other page I saved to be part of my Thanksgiving planning system for the year. We host a very large dinner. There's other events, as I mentioned before, so it does require a lot of planning. I take a huge amount of notes while I am cooking every year, and having those notes and having our exact like recipes, exact time frame, and things went in and out of the oven is super helpful for hosting. So if you plan to host holidays, I definitely recommend that. That page is just the starting point. I do have a separate Thanksgiving planner as well. Then I tried to set this page up, which is my line a day memory keeper, same as last month, but I wrote October instead of November and had to cover up my gorgeous lettering with this scratch instead. I don't love how this looks, but it still functions, so we are just moving right on. All right, that is everything for November, all planned out. I'm just loving this color palette. To me, this feels very Thanksgiving, so I'm super excited about that. That is my monthly calendar. We've got my recurring schedule, some things to be scheduled, project tracking, and my one-page summary of goals and themes. We've also got our school stuff set up, dates to remember, a place to list some ideas for activities, since that's one of my goals for the month is to like stock up on bad weather inside the house activities for the kids. This will be for my book journal, my regular journal, milestones, and achievements. I decided to leave these a little more blank just in case I wanted to play with them a little bit more like I did last month, but I didn't want to forget what I intended to use them for. Not that I think I would, it's kind of been the same for a while at this point, but just in case, grab a little sticky note to remind myself. Then this is our split listing page, which I've pre-split for this month. We've got a space to brainstorm goals, a Black Friday shopping list. We have been working on a list of house projects, my husband and I, so wanted a space for that. And then need lots of space for planning my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. So we'll get into it on that page. And then this will be for photos, save that. And we've got the guided journaling page, and then also my line a day memory keeper, which we're a few days into the month now, so I definitely should catch up on that. But that is everything for November, and that is everything for this video. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it. You can also subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know something you're looking forward to this month in the comments below. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram and TikTok at My Crafty Plans for even more planner fun. Bye.